Thank you for attending this regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Little Elm ISD. Today is January 14th. We will call the meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. At this time, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas state flag.
Honor to the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we'll have invocation with Pastor Sutton of Point Church. Mr. Sutton.
Let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you so much for this chance to gather again and take all these many puzzle pieces that are a school district and the wonderful people involved and try to put them together in the best ways. I pray for wisdom. I pray for insight. I just pray for them to understand that we are so thankful for the work they do. And then, Father, we have to remember that there's a family in this district that is hurting very, very badly tonight. And so we pray for the Yanez Romero family and the loss of their son. We pray, Father, that they would find friendship and healing and be able to find the support that they need from this community that they've been a part of. So we lift them up to you. We give you this time, and it's all in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Sutton. We'll do introduction and roll call, please.
Mr. Daniel Gallagher.
Present.
Mr. Dan Blackwood.
Present.
Ms. Leanna Harding. Here. Mr. David Montemayor.
Here.
Ms. Melissa Myers.
Here.
Mr. Alejandro Flores.
Present.
Mr. Billy Young English.
Here.
And I'm here, Mr. David.
Thank you. We'll go to approval of minutes. I need a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes from December 17th, 2018. Thank you. Do I have a second? All right. Any questions, discussion? All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Abstain. Since they were not 3 abstentions. Ms. Padilla, since we have only 3 and 3 abstentions, we don't have Jason here to approve. Do we need to move those to next month? Okay, let's do that. So, yeah, motion.
I make a motion to move the minutes approval to next board meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any question, discussion? All right, all those in favor of moving, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Okay. All right, at this time, we'll move to Superintendent Spotlight. Mr. Gallagher.
President Myers and board members, at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Vargas, our assistant principal at Lakeside Middle School, to come to the podium. We have some wonderful students here that I'm sure he's going to introduce or bring up.
Yes, thank you all. Again, this is Felipe Vargas, 8th grade assistant principal. I'm filling in for Ms. Carr, who is with her family at this time. And we have the Lms Spotlight. And so what we have here, President Myers, school board representative, Dr. Gallagher, district leadership, as well as family and friends. I'm going to introduce to you Ms. Natera. Ms. Natera is one of our theater arts teachers today, and they have 6th grade students that will be performing middle school struggles. And so they have prepared that for y'all. So I'm going to introduce Ms. Teresa Natera.
Hi, everybody. Well, I'm glad to be back here. I was here for the same purpose a couple of years ago, and so I'm really excited to have some more students come back and share some of their talents as well. So I'll tell you just a little bit about what the kids are doing. So they had a project last semester. Well, let me start by saying that my class is a semester classes. And so even though I actually don't have this group of students anymore as of the holiday break, they graciously gave their time to rehearse and come back and do this for y'all. really excited. And so what they did was a project where they had a choice. They had a group project and they could choose between doing a lip sync, singing, or acting. And they chose to do acting. And they're one of only two groups of all of my students in all of my classes that chose to write an original script. And so I was really proud of them for wanting to kind of take this on. And the other one that we had was like a little comedy, and it was fun, and it had to do with Fort Mountain, so that was kind of entertaining. But I was really proud of this group of kids because they decided to tackle a social issue that kids deal with, which is bullying. And so I have Kayla Garcia, who is our playwright, and then Aiden Allen, John Ramirez, Jason Ceballos, and Jasmine Villatoro. And so I present their skit, Middle School Struggles.
So, have you heard of white coworkers? Well, maybe, but I'm just excited for the class.
Oh, look. It's the freaking nerds.
You think?
Yeah, you heard me. Always walk around here, talk about whatever the heck you guys talk about. It's weird.
No need to be mean.
What's that?
Ooh. Whatever. This is stupid. They don't even make silly arguments like this.
Bro, come on, guys. Let's go.
What was that for? What do you mean? Those nasty remarks. Don't they bother you? Well, no. By now I've learned that there's no point in dealing with that, you know? Yes. Rude, don't you think? Well, of course it's rude. But like I said, it's just pointless. Okay. So I was thinking, for a project, we could do something exciting, you know? Hey, listening? Huh? Oh, yeah, good?
Ugh, not you nerds again.
Can we help you?
Yeah, get out of my way.
Why should we? Just do it, just wasting time. No need to be mean about it. We're not doing anything. Whatever, don't blame me if you guys get in trouble.
I don't know why I waste my time here. You're both nerds. I don't care if it hurts your...
And honestly, no one cares. Would you just knock it off?
Why should I?
It's annoying. How you think you could just be as rude as you want to people and end up with hearing our cigarettes?
Is it just me, or did this conversation just get really stupid?
It's just you. Kill us all. Turn it to.
It's kind of funny. You think I care?
I don't even know anymore.
Why I waste my time here?
Can you stop?
Oh, so you're all nice now?
It's just wrong.
Like I said, I don't care.
You go when you get sent to the principal's office, and when you do, don't blame me because I do care.
No promises.
You guys don't know what you're doing. It's bullying, and it's wrong. You think bullying is cool? That's bad. Don't you have anything better to do?
Well,
Can you just say sorry, sorry?
fine. Sorry.
It's whatever, I guess. Thanks for apologizing.
Yeah, whatever.
Bullying is a problem everywhere.
Kids who are bullied can feel alone, different, and powerless.
The victims of bullying have a hard time staying in the country.
Bullying can cause depression, feeling sick, or having problems at school. Kids who are bullied are more likely to drop out of school. They don't want to deal with people who bully them. Sometimes bullying can cause mental health issues, which can cause major problems in your own life.
If you see someone being bullied, speak up.
If you are getting bullied, just know you're not alone. Talk to a trusted adult. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm really maybe to share with you kind of what they went through, just an experience of rehearsing, memorizing their lines, and talking to each other about what it means to be bullied in middle school. I will mention one of the things that we do at our school is we have character lessons, and one of those things focuses on bullying and focuses on trying to be an upstander, like Jason portrayed, instead of just a bystander, and not just letting people get bullied and trying to do something about it. So this is really important, I think, and relevant to them, so I just wanted to give them a minute to talk to you guys about anything that they want to share and answer any questions that you might have. So, Kayla, why don't you start as the author?
Okay, hi, I'm Kayla. This play, it meant something to me just because I feel like kids who are bullied honestly don't know what to do whenever they are bullied. It's something that honestly kids should not experience in middle school or any school in general. In writing this play, I kind of wanted to have the upstander, because kids should not be bullied. And I know this play is a deeper play, so I did want to make this kind of more like emotional, not emotional, but like I guess not cheesy in a way. So yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, I have a question for you. For you guys, from your standpoint, being in school, on the road, they're like on the ground, you guys actually see. What would you do as probably one of the solutions that you noticed? Besides people standing up for each other, being friends in a corner, what would you want parents and us to know about?
I would say that it's just disrespectful to have kids of any age disrespect one another like that. I feel like kids who are bullies, I don't think that they have any reason to. It's just, again, when you have friends or people that are upstanding them, it's better for them because I want them to have some kind of confidence in themselves. I feel like parents should know that because I don't want kids to feel down on themselves because of how they look or how they feel. It's just, I feel like kids should respect each other. And
Anybody else like to add something? Is there anything we can do at school to help that we're not doing already? Am I going to answer this? Yeah, no. Aiden, why don't you answer that? Okay.
Well, do y'all have an experience that you wish would have been handled differently?
definitely, I feel like some of us definitely do have some experiences. And we know we talked about that earlier. I feel like kids definitely should not feel different because of how they look or how they feel in their own skin. They should be confident.
So if you have a personal experience that you can share, something that you went through?
Yes, actually, back in fourth grade, I usually got mad easily. So what a bunch of kids did is they just, even though I was saying absolutely nothing, they just started yelling at me saying, stop talking to me, stop. And I got really mad and ended up knocking over a desk.
And something else that they've shared too that we talked about is that sometimes the kids who are bullies, that they're not being bullies all the time just to intend to harm other kids. And they might have other things going on in their personal lives that they're just trying to be understanding about and be empathetic. And maybe try and connect with them on a personal level rather than just labeling them as some terrible kid. And, trying to maybe be your friend and be understanding instead of just having this separation between the bullies and the kids being picked on, and just trying to understand that everybody has feelings and that everybody sometimes is going through things that we don't understand. So that's something else. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for having us. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Really great job. Thank you, Mr. Vargas, and thank you, students. Y'all did a wonderful job, and that's a great message. And also, someone has a future as a playwright, because that was really, really good. So thank y'all so much for doing that. Next, I would like to ask our principal for Little Elm High School, Miss Renee Pentecost, to come to the podium and recognize some of our great high school students.
President Myers, board members, and Mr. Gallagher, thank you again for giving me this opportunity to spotlight a couple of our great Little Elm High School students. I have a couple of young people to introduce to you tonight that are really making a mark for themselves, not just at Little Elm High School, but really putting Little Elm High School on the map out there in our community. So first of all, I would like to ask Mr. Colton Kennemer to come on up. And along with him, Heaven Holden, come on up. I'm going to start with Colton. Colton is a senior. I visit with each one of the students of the month and kind of gather information that I can share with you. And Colton first came on my radar earlier in the year when I got notice that he is our only National Hispanic Scholar. And the way you get that designation is through the PSAT program in conjunction with National Merit Scholar program. It is a part of the National Merit Scholar scholarship program. So the letter that I received said that Colton scored in the top 2.5% among Hispanic and Latino PSAT National Merit Scholar test takers in our region. So that is very prestigious, like I said, only one that we have at the high school. And he is taking that honor and opportunity very seriously. There's a list of colleges that offer at times full ride scholarship. So he is weighing all of his possibilities right now and considering currently University of Tulsa as a possibility. Ultimately, he wants to get an MD degree and be a forensic pathologist. I hope I never need your services, Colton. He is at Little Elm High School, the president of our chess club. And just this week, our student council president has started an initiative to get all the presidents of all the clubs together. And Colton was at that meeting and is going to be part of our first ever, we haven't come up with a name for it yet. Right now, we're just calling it the President's Council that will meet with me monthly. We will look at problems within our school that we will invite students to help us problem solve, as well as bring forward things that they would like to see done differently. So very proud of that group, and Colton is being part of that group. In addition to being president of the chess club, he has also been a part of HOSA and National Honor Society, and is currently a health science practicum student going out and learning more about the medical professions in the hospital and that sort of thing. So that it too is a honor, because we have a lot of health science students who don't ever make it to practicum. So that is just an indicator of the type of student that Colton is. A couple of things that Colton's teachers wrote me about him. His English teacher said, Colton is a very quiet student with a very bright mind. Even though he is a quiet kid, when he does make a comment, it usually strikes like Monty Python. Very funny, very under the radar, and totally worth it. I have had him in AP English 3 and AP English 4, and each year he becomes more and more impressive. And then one other teacher comment from his health science practicum teacher says that Colton is a very curious and intuitive student. He constantly strives to do his best and takes time to learn all that he can. He helps his classmates when needed and is always there to lend a hand or provide assistance whenever it is needed. He has become a wealth of knowledge for our classroom. And Colton's mom and brothers are here tonight. He has one brother that is, I believe, a sophomore at the high school and one that's in 8th grade at the middle school. So I would like for y'all to stand and be recognized with Colton. And thank you very much, Colton, for all that you're doing. So Colton, come over here and we'll take a picture in just a minute, okay? So next up is Heaven Holguin. Heaven is a sophomore, but already making a name for herself. She recently was presented with the Gold Presidential Volunteer Service Award. That entailed having to get, it was a minimum of 120, 100, but she exceeded that with 132 volunteer service hours in the community, many of those serving on Beto O'Rourke's campaign. So we've got a future politician amongst us. She also has helped out at the Little Elm Library. Hope's sister, who was a senior, graduated last year, also received this award. So they are really taking community service very seriously. She also participates in an organization that one of our parents puts on, not just for students at Little Elm High School, but high school students from all around, called the Zero Debt College Project. And it is their goal to find scholarships, grants, those sort of things, so that when they go to college, they will not have to take out any loans or accumulate any debt. She has been on the teen advisory board for the library. And this really is near and dear to my heart. Her ultimate goal, first of all, she's trying to graduate a whole year early. And then she wants to go to Midwestern here up in Wichita Falls, I think is where that's at, to become a high school English teacher. And then after that, get her master's in education, and then ultimately get her EDD and be a professor of education. So looking forward to welcoming one of our own students back into the profession one of these days. She's also participated in track, and you wouldn't know it by looking at her, but she has thrown the discus and shot put in track. So Heaven is really diverse. I believe her mom is here tonight as well. Would you please stand and be recognized with Heaven? And those are our two students of the month. I told you it'd be painless, Colton.
Thank you, Ms. Pentecost, and thank you, Colton and Heaven, and both great students that have incredible futures. I did notice when Ms. Pentecost mentioned Heaven was looking at education as a career, I saw a big grin on Cleo Epps, our assistant superintendent for HR. She got very excited. So hopefully we can see both of you just excelling in the future as you are now. So thank you so much. Next, I just would like to take a minute to recognize the school board. It is January School Board Appreciation Month across the state of Texas. One of the things that people don't realize is the work that these school board members do. And, you know, a lot of people that haven't either served on a board or know a school board member may not realize the amount of hours that these wonderful individuals put in to this district. School board members do so much for our district, but really districts across the state of Texas and across the country, whether it's advocating at the state level, at the national level, meeting with our state reps, looking at policy, or setting our mission, setting our vision, working with me on that or on our budget, no matter what it is. They do so much for this district, and for Little Elm ISD, where we are today compared to where we were even 3 years ago or 4 years ago. We have so many wonderful people in the district, but I have to give appreciation and thanks to this group up here, because this group up here has been together now for I believe for 4 years.
Just shy of 3.
Okay, well, for several years, 3 or 4 years. And as a collective group, they really have helped push this district where it is today. And what's so exciting about thinking where we're going. And I know someday, as a former board member, I was a board member in another district, I often think about some of the decisions that I made and participated in, and what that means for that district a decade later, 2 decades later. So the work that, and I want to say the work that you guys are doing as a board, it's making an impact, not just today, but you guys are making an impact that's going to last for decades to come. And whether it's our new buildings that we're opening up, or again, our mission, our vision, just the core work that we do, we couldn't do it without you. So again, thank you to the board members. And for those of you in the audience, you can't see, we have many, many things back here. It looks like Christmas. In fact, I had to almost walk around because I couldn't get back here as I welcome the board members. And one of the unique gifts is a little elm tree. So you have a tree back here, and it's actually a little elm tree. So we're proud of you. And again, if everyone would just join me in a round of applause for the board members. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. At this time, do we have any citizen input? All right. Then the board will now recess into closed meeting in PL 1 as permitted by the Texas Opens Meeting Act, subchapter 551.072 and 551.074. The time is 6:57. We'll come back in session at 7:41 PM. First up, we have reports of the superintendent.
President Myers, board members, at this time, I would like to ask Yamile Quintero to come up. She is our liaison for our parent community outreach and does an amazing job. So Yamile.
Thank you. Good evening. Dear Mrs. Myers, President of the Board of Trustees, and Mr. Gallagher, and leaders of Little ISD, thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. Life is an instant, and in that little particles conforming that instant, we have the chance. We have the opportunity to make difference. When we decide to embark in this amazing profession as educators, we decided to embrace each one of our students to provide what they need, love and learning. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all, as Aristotle said. And we all, as Little Elm ISD family, each one of you, in your role is what we're doing, is what we are doing, what is need to be done. So I want to thank you for supporting our families and supporting our kids in many, many aspects. Okay, supporting our families in the district. As a family life educator, my job is to coordinate the parent education program, which I feel very proud of. Our mission is to, like the same mission that we have with our students, our kids, is to engage, equip, and empower. And that's our role, to help our parents to do their best as parents, as educators as well. For the past 12 years, I've been doing this amazing program, and we provide every school year around between 19 or 20 sessions. We cover many topics according with sometimes interest that the parents has or what the district is needing. Each semester we have evaluations because it's very important, it's the way we rate our program. And as I invite you to see in the PowerPoint, I just put here the past year during the fall semester, we asked the parents to rate the program. And for the fall semester, they rated as excellent. Spring semester, we see the same, excellent. And this past fall semester, we rated also as excellent. Some people put good, is fine. And we get input from the parents, what topics they would like for us to address, which is that, make us to do a better program. I'm not going to go over every, what topics we cover every time, but we go from like parenting strategies to deal with the kids, and as nutrition, eating healthy, and music, and student achievement, and reducing power struggles, or any strategies for challenging behaviors. Thanks to those post-evaluations that we do every semester, we get input for them. And for this semester, for the second semester of this year, we are focusing on grandparenting. We notice more and more grandparents raising their kids. So this is the first time actually we are going to address this topic, and I will let you know how it went. We are going to continue with financial education and also balancing parent and work. Some of the parents ask about they sometimes struggle with the kids when they are going to taking a test, so we are going to address that as well. So I see the parents as, we see our kids as a community, and like a community of motivated learners. I see my parents the same way. And for tonight, I have Ms. Yolanda Faz and Ms. Patricia Delgado, parents of our school district who have been involved in the program probably for the last 10 years, I believe. So I would like for you to listen to them, their input.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Delgado, and I am a parent of two teenagers currently enrolled in the district, a freshman and a senior. My experience with the Parent Academy has been one of continuous learning and personal growth. It has had a positive impact on my family and on the education of my two children. Since I started attending the classes in the summer of 2007, they have helped me to get a better understanding of the importance of good parenting and the responsibility that we have as parents to raise good kids, confident kids that will become great citizens. Among the many things the classes taught me are patience and the ability to better understand my children in their childhood years. From their toddler years from my toddler to my first grader, throughout their middle school years, and now in their high school years. Provided that the classes have provided me with strategies to arm myself with more patience, and they have given me the ability to learn to negotiate with my teenagers when disagreement and conflict arise. They have been a resource in learning the benefits and risks of the use of technology and the importance of parent involvement to keep children safe in the age of technology. They have been a great resource in many aspects. It's been a great journey so far, and I am happy to see many new parents, new faces, young parents every year who, like me, come to these sessions with an eagerness to learn new strategies and get new ideas to be the best parents they can be. I am very grateful to the district and to the school board, for supporting these classes and for the opportunity to attend this parenting education and given me the knowledge that I have learned throughout those classes. I hope that many parents will have the same opportunity for many years to come. Thank you.
Buenas noches, me llamo Yolanda Faz.
Good evening, my name is Yolanda Faz.
De parte de la comunidad hispana, quiero agradecerles desde el fondo de nuestro corazón por el bondadoso programa del Angel Tree.
On behalf of the Hispanic community, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the Angel Tree program,
que ha hecho feliz a tantos niños por tantos años, y cuando ustedes toman ese ángel, ustedes son los que se ponen las alas al abrir su corazón y manifestar la bondad hacia nuestros hijos.
This program makes so many kids happy and has been made them happy for so many years. When you adopt an angel, you open your wings and hearts to show the goodness toward our children.
Gracias también por el programa de educación para padres que nos han ofrecido por estos 12 años.
I also want to thank you for the education program for parents that has been offered for the past 12 years.
Este programa ha sido ese faro de luz para no perder nosotros el objetivo más importante, que es el ser padres y preparar a hijos competentes a nuestra sociedad.
This program has been the light so that we don't lose our most important goal in life as parents, which is to prepare our children to our society.
Estas clases son extraordinarias. Están llenas de información invaluable para poner en práctica en nuestros hogares.
These classes are extraordinary, full of valuable information to apply at our homes.
Hemos aprendido tantas cosas, desde cómo manejar la comunicación y disciplina en nuestros hogares,
We have learned so many things from how to communicate and discipline at home,
cómo fortalecer la autoestima de ellos y de nosotros mismos,
how to strengthen ours and their self-esteem,
cómo mantenerlos seguros del riesgo del Internet,
how to keep them safe from the risks of the internet,
de las pandillas y abuso de drogas,
gangs, and drug use,
cómo fortalecer nuestros valores y cultura,
how to strengthen our values and culture,
hasta de cómo alimentarnos sanamente,
to how we can eat healthy,
educándonos en las finanzas
educate on our finances,
y cómo la música fortalece el potencial académico de nuestros hijos.
and how music can strengthen our children's academic potential.
Miembros de la mesa directiva del distrito,
School board members,
señor superintendente
superintendent,
y demás administradores,
and administration,
les apreciamos y les agradecemos infinitamente.
we thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, as a homeless liaison role, I make sure that we as a district provide services to our students. We work with child nutrition department to provide to the students free school meals. And also our PIM secretaries that I love too much, they help us also to enroll those kids immediately when it's needed. And transportation services also is one of the services that we provide in case the students are outside the district, they became homeless here and they go to live in another district, we have to provide transportation to them. And I want to acknowledge our service transportation system in Little Elm ISD. They've been so flexible, Mr. Barrett and Mrs. Slater, so flexible in arranging this so the kids doesn't miss a day to school. And I really appreciate that, as the parents appreciate that as well. We also provide school supplies and also technology department. Mr. Jeff made sure that the kids get the laptop without any payment. We offer tutoring and also we offer the letters of verification for FAFSA for the for the senior students. Also, I try to connect families with local resources and the Little Elm Food Bank, any faith-based organizations, shelters, the Christian Community Actions, and another non-profit organizations. So that's for the homeless part, Bento McKinney Act. Some statistics, as you see, how we are increasing over the years with the homeless. 2016, 2017 school year, we have qualified 65 students. 2017, 2018, we have 71 students. 17 of them were relocated because of the hurricanes that we have last year. And in 2018, 2019, our current year, that's January, we have until today 65 students. So we can, project that the statistics are going up and up. In the last past years, we have offered, we have provided FAFSA verification letters to 8 senior students, and we made sure they all qualify for that. And as a supporting role, I help Dr. Tipton with the back to school bash. I help to know he does everything. I just do the recruiting the families, recruiting and qualify the families for the program. It's an amazing program, and the parents really, really appreciate that and what you have done to keep this program alive. I really appreciate that as well. And also, I help the food bank whenever we have the events of the Thanksgiving basket and Christmas basket. I make sure that the families get an applications as well. So also, this is my 4th year working with Give to Kids a Smile program. This is a program, they don't cover too many kids, but we make sure that we at least the homeless students or immigrant students that doesn't have insurance get these. So these, dental assistance. Last but not least, Angel Tree program, the joy of the district. For me, that's the joy of the district. This program has been around for many years. I've been involved for the last 12 years. We have support more than 3,000 kids. That support comes from our own staff, ISD staff, from student organizations like DECA, Student Council, Yearbook, sports groups, and also as well the partners from the community. And I want to acknowledge them. We have Wynwood Heaven Estates, led by Mrs. Jill Daganol. They have been helping the program for at least 15 years. We have RTI with Mr. Larry Salerno. They are the ones that provide us the boxes. And also they are now adopting angels, like between 15 to 20 angels. We have the Crossing Church led by Mrs. Kim Mills. This is the 4th year for them also supporting our school district in this amazing program. And this year, and the Little Firefighters Association, they also support us, has been supporting over these 12 years. The Stonebriar Church, led by Mrs. Karen Hawkins, once she said, and I want to tell you what she said, she fell in love with Little M community, with Little M ISD community. And she said, I can't believe you were doing the convocation all the time here, and I didn't reach out to the community to see how the community lives. And she actually do a lot of work in the Hilltown community. And this is the first year for them to support our Angel Tree program, and they are going to make sure they're going to continue with the support. So that's something very, very important. And Stonebrook Pediatric Dentistry, also led by Dr. Baumik. Also, he wants to get more involved with the Angel Tree program. So I just want to close with this beautiful picture. That's, as they say, a picture talks more than 1,000 words, something like that. En español decimos una foto dice más que 1,000 palabras. You see the joy that all come together to support this program, and most important, to support our community, to support our parents, our kids. And I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for all that you do. I know the tasks that you have on your plate are probably daunting at times, but over the last 3 or 4 years, just getting to know you and getting to know all of the things that you do for the students, it's just amazing to me. I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Anyway, but I just want to say thank you. The Angel Tree Back to School Bash was kind of something that, I was passionate about 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm really happy that we're still doing it. I thought, we'll probably get a year out of it, and then, it'll kind of fall off the radar. And I'm just so appreciative that we still have it going. It's bigger and better than ever. The Angel Tree program, it was so organized this year. I mean, every year you do something better and better, and it just ran so smoothly. So I just want to say thank you. Anybody else? I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm emotional.
I do want to share a few thoughts. I've known Ms. Quintero for several years, many, many years, and been participating in the Angel Tree with my wife for many years. And I always see Ms. Quintero working all kinds of hours. She's always somewhere doing something outside her normal 8 to 5 job or 8 to 4 job, whatever that is. So I want to thank her for all the work that she does with this community. As you can see, we have 2 great examples here. I think the individuals that participate in the program also want to give back in some way or form. And so they participate in PTAs and they participate in other events. They want to be part of the community because they're very grateful for what Ms. Quintero has done over the past few years. So thank you for your service.
I just wanted to say thank you. In the last few years, I've been able to participate, and you've been fantastic with all of it and giving us opportunities. You know, there were things I was always passionate about, got to volunteer, but knowing you and how you reach out has given us opportunities to find out and get to explore many different opportunities to help out. And I just wanted to thank you. You've done a fantastic job.
Anybody else? Mr. Gallagher?
Yeah, just, I'll echo what the board members just said, but Yumile, you know, you're a true blessing for the district. And also thank you to both of you who came to speak. You did a beautiful job. It says a lot about our district. And when we talk about family, the family with the big LE, this is a great example. And what Yumile does, those things that we see, and they're so important to the district, whether it's Angel Tree, the parent classes. But you're right, Mr. Flores, the amount of time that she puts in outside of what we would call the typical school day, it's countless hours. But one thing you always see with her is she's always smiling. She's always passionate about what she does. And it's because she loves our kids. She loves our kids, and she loves our community and our teachers. So we're the lucky ones. We're blessed that we have you here, and just appreciate everything that you do to help our district and help our community. So thank you.
All right, at this time, we'll move into action items. The first up is discuss and approve financial reports. Mr. Anderson is not here this evening. He is out sick. So you get the pleasure.
President Myers, members of the board, Mr. Gallagher, thank you for letting me fill in for Mr. Anderson. You have before you in board book the most recent financial reports. Much to the chagrin of my colleagues tonight, we're not going to dive down too deep in the weeds on those.
Come on.
The administration would like to recommend the approval of financial reports as submitted. If you do have any questions, I will note them, and we will definitely get you an answer this week.
I need a motion to approve as submitted.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any questions at this time?
On page 27, line.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Discuss and approve Little Elm ISD interlocal summary report.
Yes, we have 3 interlocal summaries or interlocals for you to approve tonight. The first one is a renewal of the child nutrition co-op. Basically, this is their purchasing co-op that they do all their commodity processing and purchasing. It's the same one we've used repeatedly every year, but this is buying the food, those sort of things. Through Region 10, that's no cost. It's just a renewal of the participation in the co-op. And the other 2 are with Region 11. If Dr. Mika, would you like to come shed a little light on those?
Good evening, Board. I've asked Mr. Sevier to come up with me as well to speak to this. We are asking for the approval for us to work with Region 11 with our curriculum. And so we would like to move in the preparing for the audit and reflection and talking, we realized that we had gaps that we needed to close, and that, as someone likes to say, it's hard to fly a plane while you're still building it, which is what we've been doing with our curriculum, is pulling teachers out of the classroom to help us write curriculum, write assessments. And with the state continually changing the requirements and the TEKS, it's becoming increasingly harder for districts to keep up with their curriculum writing. And so we're coming to you tonight to approve interlocal for TEKS resource systems, which would provide us with core curriculum in grades K to 12 for all of our core content, as well as a supplement called Text Guide, written by education service centers across Texas, that would supplement the TEKS resource systems with activities and resources.
And Dr. Mecca, can I jump in real quick? Board members, as you know, we did have an audit. The results of the audit aren't back yet. We won't have the final, I believe they're actually compiling it right now, but we're not looking at the results or getting the results back until March. But we do know from preliminary discussions with the auditors the gaps that we know we're going to see. This gives us an opportunity to get a jump start on the direction that we know we need to go in terms of improving academic performance for the district and ultimately for improving student learning.
And really, the two key areas that we looked at is one, what she discussed is pulling teachers out of the classroom to help write a curriculum. And I think it's important that they understand curriculum, but not to the detriment of the instruction that the kids receive. And really, when you take a look at that, we have really solid coordinators, really good people that are working really hard to get this done. But with the amount of people that we had and the amount of time that it was taking, we're still looking at 2 to 3 years to get some of this done and completed to the level that we think would be called excellent. And so by investing into this, we actually infuse a valid curriculum that is aligned to standards with a resource that comes alongside that we can now say, how are we best going to implement this through the instructional practices that we can now support as a department? We're no longer building the plane, we're actually telling the plane where to go.
By allowing us to purchase this now mid-year, we would be receiving our logins by February 1st. This is going to allow our coordinators to work on the alignment and looking at what we already have prepared with our teachers and how it fits in with the scope and sequence of the TEKS resource systems, so that we will be able to train all teachers beginning with our summer summit the first week of June, so that by when they come back in August, it's ready to go.
Dr. Mickle, one additional piece that I think is important for the board to know is there are multiple districts across the state that are moving in this direction. What we have found doing the research is many districts are experiencing the same thing we're experiencing. We write our own curriculum, the state revises it, we've got to go back, rewrite it to match the new standards, and it's this constant cycle. And what's happening is districts are spending an enormous amount of time writing curriculum. It's almost as if there's almost like spinning your wheels. You're never really getting caught up. And again, what this curriculum is that foundational curriculum that is aligned to the standards because it's written by our educational service centers across the state.
Yes, 75% of the districts across Texas utilize this curriculum. In fact, 2 of the largest districts in Region 10 and Region 11 have recently signed within the past year.
So, I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Any other questions just on these 2 items? Did you have a question on just these 2 items?
Yeah, just. Well, I'll wait.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll let you go
The
ahead.
administration recommend you approve the interlocal submitted today.
I need a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. Mr. English, any questions?
Yes. So if I understand this correctly, this curriculum will keep up to date with the changes associated with the laws that are coming out from an educational standpoint of view.
The nice thing about this is it's really a cohort of a number of people that are actually trained to do this. Our coordinators are trained in curriculum writing, curriculum development. The problem is we don't have enough people to pull this off. When you start talking about multiple districts, multiple region centers, now we have a team support that can actually allow us to take a curriculum that we're already, ELA RTEKs are changing this year. They already have that curriculum up and running, ready to go, just flip a switch and it's there. We would still be trying to develop what we're going to look at. The other nice thing is that we've been using what's called an understanding by design. It's a UBD model. So the teachers have gotten used to looking at our curriculum in that format. This curriculum that we're purchasing is done in that format as well. So our teachers won't have a steep learning curve when looking at it. It's just going to be laid out a little differently, but they know what it is and how it's designed. So both those factors, it's going to get us up and running very quickly. And like you said, with all the changes that occur, they adjust to it on the fly.
And so when we go into leadership time and professional development in the summertime, this new curriculum will now be in place. They'll be learning this, and will the follow-on for the following year will continue the same model, or what is the thought there?
Yeah, so with us coming on board in February, we're going to, if with the approval tonight, we would be able to start training our district leaders and campus leaders in February. And then we would be able to begin working on it behind the scenes so that we'd be ready to roll out during summer. We'd also be doing training during new teacher orientation for our new teachers coming on. But what this does is it lays the foundation, like Mr. Severe said. We can edit our site. So we can edit the foundation documents to meet our needs, and we can add to it. So by having the foundation, we can still do our common summative assessments. We can still do common formative assessments. We can link our own resources into activities, which would be what we would call stage 3 of the understanding by design. And the process continues every year. And so the beauty of this is that when the state changes the TEKS for a subject, we don't have to rewrite the curriculum to match those TEKS. It's being done by all of the service centers and the teachers across the state of Texas that are on these writing committees. And so it's ready to go by the summer prior to the implementation.
Which is also one reason we want to try to get this rolled out, because we could train at the beginning of the summers, and a lot of teachers use the summer to gear up for the first 9 weeks. Having to wait, to the end of summer actually would hamper some teams that are really aggressive about planning out those first 9 weeks. So it's really a win-win situation.
And my assumption for the metrics to determine, hey, how is this program working? Were you really looking to the state testing, or are we going to do how are we handling that metrics to look at if this program is actually working for us?
Combination of both. But
Yes,
go ahead.
a combination of the district assessments, the common summative assessments that we began this year. And then also we would expect to see improved achievement on the state assessments.
I did have a couple of questions. Just clarification. I'm pretty sure you guys did cover this already. I just want to make absolutely certain. This is not necessarily filling in the gaps, but it's basically correcting maybe some misdirection we were doing previously. Is that correct? Or
I wouldn't say it was a misdirection. It's just we are a small department and working as hard as we can. There's just the breadth of what we're trying to accomplish, especially when you look at a high school our size.
finding a better way to do it.
Yes, this is more efficient.
Yeah.
Yes.
And second is, I know that there's been several other tools, other programs, other items that we had subscribed to or paid for in the past to help with curriculum. And is this now going to just simply supplement that, or are we ending some of those other programs?
No, we've never had a program for curriculum. This is actual curriculum that, again, I don't want to make it sound too simplistic, but basically once we get approval and they go through the training, we will now have a full curriculum in our core content areas, basically K-12.
Okay.
And currently we have gaps. And when you see the results of the audit will be very clear where those gaps are. We're well aware. And again, we can go through a history of why we have those gaps. What we know now is we know the information. We need to respond to it. We can't look back. We've got work to do, and this will allow us. Again, it's not all about state testing. That's a piece of it, but it will be aligned to the state. So naturally, the results should improve once we have a curriculum that's aligned.
Very holistically, this takes the required state essential knowledge and skills, and for every grade in the core contents, let's just take math. First grade math, what TEKS do the teachers have to teach that year? It organizes them into coherent units, and then within those units into subunits. And so it's what to teach and when to teach and how long to teach it. But by no means are we going to tell teachers how to teach, because that's the flexibility that occurs in their classroom.
And I know a conversation that Mrs. Severe and I had previously is part of the issues we were having is, yes, we were writing our own curriculum, but a fifth grade teacher teaching English at Lakeview was not necessarily teaching the same English that a fifth grade teacher at Oak Point was.
Right. Correct.
And then once those fifth graders got to PAL in sixth grade, you had your sixth grade English teachers then teaching English to kids that were at 5 different levels of English that coming in for 5th grade.
Right.
So this does align it throughout the district. So yes.
And one thing, just board members, so you know, that audit, what we did during the audit is we brought teachers in and asked them, we didn't, the auditors asked them, talk to us about what do you need? What gaps do you, what do you see it with our curriculum? And what we heard in the preliminary findings when we met with the lead auditor was, this is what teachers want. They want a solid curriculum, K-12, you know, and again, this is core curriculum. There's still some other areas we're going to have to continue to build curriculum in, but this is for those core content areas.
I've got a question. On the renewals, I noticed that this is only for 6 months. So is this going to be a yearly thing, or how does this work?
So I was able to work out with them a prorated cost.
Thank you.
So that we could bring it on now. And they listened to us, you know, that we wanted to come on now. It was very important that we be able to work on the back end and that we're not waiting till the summer to get all of this extensive work done. And that we felt like in order for us to have a good implementation, this is how we needed to do it. And so this cost is half of what the cost would be ongoing every year. And so when we bring the interlocal agreements to you for next year with all of our service centers, this would be part of the Region 11 big contract that we would bring. So it would be double that.
But it is annual.
Annual.
Yes. For this, okay.
Any other questions?
So I have a question. So, I mean, how much time do you figure we've spent in the last year trying to create these curriculums? And with how many people?
Honestly, that's a very tough question to answer because we're talking about across 4 contents. But I would say this, it's literally countless hours. The problem you run into again is because we're pulling teachers out of their class and we're paying for subs to get that accomplished, they're missing instruction. Secondly, our coordinators who are coordinators of curriculum and learning are having to become experts at writing curriculum when they could really be helping teachers understand how to better impact through instruction this curriculum that is now written by a vetted larger group of people that can react quicker than what we ever could. To give you an example, though, honestly, it would take another 2 to 3 years to finish out what we think is going to be a coherent curriculum for every content, every area, everything that we touch.
I'm just changing it.
Yeah, and we could do that like this. And so,
the amount of time that this is going to save us, then, is it going to save us on personnel, or is it just going to help us better direct the personnel we have?
better
into
direct,
better training and
absolutely better direct the
implementation?
personnel we have. We actually met this morning about knowing that this might occur. What does that do to our department? How do we become more focused to generate from this better student success and better capacity for our teachers? It's going to redirect our efforts. It's not going to change a lot of maybe the time you see them working with teachers, but it's how we work with teachers that will shift.
And let me add to that, how long have we spent? We've actually been working on developing the curriculum that we have today since I've been here, actually for the last, how many years, Dr. Mick?
7.5 years now.
So 7.5 years, we're looking at another 2 years, and that's with 4 coordinators. You know, one person is in charge of ELA, pre-K, really, pre-K all the way up through high school. And you think about the number of English courses there are, it's a daunting task, and it does take years.
Right.
And the fact now that we have this opportunity, this will allow us to use our coordinators and our personnel in a much more efficient way, also to provide our teachers with a guaranteed and viable curriculum, which will result in increased student learning and academic performance.
So, yeah.
Consistency.
So this is one of my big issues as we go forward.
Absolutely.
I know when we first started, we kind of had this 3-pronged situation where we're talking about leadership, getting our finances together, and now curriculum instruction, which is hugely important to the kids and development. The other aspect I want to ask about is, once we get this curriculum in place, about even more increased rigor around some of the coursework. Will this allow us to, supplement with additional rigor, particularly like in the middle school levels, as we kind of push towards, excellence in the classroom?
That's where instruction truly comes into play. Because as we start to talk about better ways of actually applying curriculum through instructional means, we can look at better vetted instructional strategies. We're working right now on developing a playbook, what we call a playbook, but it's all the instructional strategies that we know that are research-based. That's first. It's not, Pinterest and ooh, it looks pretty, right? But it's research-based. So we know it has an effect size, which Hattie really, and that's an author, but Hattie really says this will have the greatest impact. So we're going to be able to put more effort there to increase the rigor, to increase the research-based strategies that we're using, and not just keep spinning those wheels on development of curriculum. We can actually now get into the rigor of the lesson, the rigor of what's going on in the classroom. So long answer, yes.
Any other questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you both. Discuss and approve Little Elm ISD expenditures over 50,000.
Thank you. We have one expenditure over 50,000. We are purchasing 100 new MacBooks to accommodate student growth at the high school for our one-to-one devices. This would allow us to meet the growth need through the 1920 school year. And the charge for that would be $98,200. The administration recommends approving the Little Elm ISD expenditures over 50,000 as submitted.
Need a motion to approve as submitted? Do you have a second? Second. Any questions?
I do have one question real quick. I think it was, about 3 months ago or 4 months ago, Clay, you'd come to us with the possibility of moving over to the Chromebook technology.
Correct.
And we're looking at that. If it was after the 2021 year, was that correct?
So
Okay.
we'll have this year and then next year on the MacBooks.
Okay.
And then we'd be moving the Chromebooks.
For some reason, it was stuck in my head. It was going to be at the end of this year. So,
So we do have the current Chromebooks, they're up for renewal this year.
okay. Okay. But the Apple contract doesn't end until next year. So that's the reason. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
How many books are these for 90,000? How many?
100.
Almost 1,000 each. Yeah. 1,000. Okay. Okay. 1,000. About close to 1,000. Okay.
Right.
982.
He said 100. I was like, wait. He said 100. I was like, wait, 100 for 90,000? I was like, what?
That's like CPA. We got like, what? I'm telling you.
Those even numbers. Yeah. Well, when you said 100, I was like, wait, what? I'm like, 90,000. I'm like, what?
Any other questions?
Thank you. Like,
Go ahead.
So I do have a question. So the Chromebooks are up for renewal this year.
Correct.
So why do we need these additional 100 versus increasing the number of the Chromebooks that we?
Right. So the
Read
Chromebooks are grades 4 through 8. So this is for 9 through 12.
Gotcha.
And so next year, they're continuing the MacBooks at the 9 through 12. And this will make sure that we get through the year.
And we've been through that before. The Chromebooks don't support the programs and the functions and a lot of the things that they're doing at the high school level. Why the MacBooks are necessary.
So the one question I have associated with that as well is the Go Guardian piece of this.
Yes. So we've actually been through a proof of concept. We've looked at 3 different products, and I'll double check with Jeff, but I think we've got the PO in place to put that in place for the MacBooks.
Okay.
But
So that'll cover the MacBooks so the
Correct.
teachers can monitor the kids
Exactly.
in there.
Yes, we've gone through a proof of concept with that. I think we asked 4 or 5 different teachers to help us evaluate 3 or 4 different products to find the best.
Because that was my concern, as we talked about earlier about the books, is
Right.
that the MacBooks didn't come with any type of Go Guardian or any type of software, so the kids can do whatever they want, and the teachers were unable. Whereas the Chromebooks allowed them
Correct.
to govern that.
Correct.
And that was a real concern, because we had kids that were probably doing God knows what else.
So for the remainder of this year as well as next year, we'll have that excuse me, that product in place for the MacBooks. And then once we flip them to the Chromebooks, then they'll be able to use that Go Guardian.
Any other questions on the purchase of the 100? All right, we have a motion and second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have consent agenda. Any questions on consent? Anything that anybody wants to pull? Okay, then I need a motion to approve as submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All right, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. I just had a couple of comments. I think there was a question that came out for a workshop. So if everybody can please look at your calendars for the April 2nd and 3rd, I think. And just get back to Ms. Padilla as quickly as you can so we can get that out.
And that's for our audit.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, the audit workshop.
The auditor will come out and
Yep.
visit with us as a group.
And we can, if there's, do you feel that that's going to be the whole workshop or, okay. All right, perfect. Please email her back with that detail. Then the other item I had was the social media policy that did get sent back out to everybody. I would like you all, if you can, please respond back to Mr. Gallagher on questions, concerns, revisions. I'd like to have that up for the February meeting so we can put that to bed if we can. And I think that was, yeah, that was my only items. So I'll open it up for board comments. Mr. English?
No, I just said, well, welcome back for a new year. I'm glad to see everyone. Thank you for all the hard work for the past year, in the past couple of years. So really look forward to that and going forward in the future. The only other comment, Ms. Gallagher, I'll get with you on this. One of the things I want to think about, and as I was thinking over the last year, there's a concept called customer experience out there in the market. And what that really is taking a customer from one end of a product or engagement all the way through the following end. And so it gave me the idea, the concept of same thing for us, the student experience from K to 12, what that really means, as well as the parental experience from K to 12. And that really focuses on the different aspects of our students and what they engage in throughout their whole course of with us, throughout their, from K to 9. Same thing with the parent, what their experiences are. We have kids and as we've, experienced, what happens when we have a child who either goes through a divorce or something happens in their family or whatever it is what is that experience and how do we handle that experience? So I want to talk to you a little bit about that and some ideas around like parental indexes, maybe student indexes. And that idea there is for us to have the opportunity to engage those students as they go through the process. So just some thoughts around the idea, and I need to flesh it out a little bit more, but I want to throw it over to you and you guys go, Dale, you crazy, or it's something, an idea. So that's it for me.
Okay, Mr. Flores?
I'm extremely humbled and grateful for all these wonderful gifts that we've received back here. This is not why we do what we do, right? But it's extremely appreciated when all the different organizations, the schools, the staff get together to recognize us. And we thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Mr. Montemayor?
I would echo what Mr. Flores said. It's, walking in, I kind of saw what was on the desk, and I was like, oh, squee, and then I looked back, I was like, oh, even more. But yeah, again, it's not why we do what we do, but it is nice to see that it is recognized and that it's recognized by all the administration, the teachers, the campuses, and also just kind of reinforces that we are all in this together. We each have a different role to play, but it's very appreciated. Thank you very much.
Ms. Harding?
I have a couple of things, go figure. First off, thank you guys. And I know the principals and everybody, they're not here, but I do want to thank them because this really is an amazing, I like this month. I've gotten to do it quite a few. So I have to admit, I love it. I mean, and just everything that we get, we do use them. Trust me, we wear them out. Well, I know I wear mine out. I'm glad I got a cup replacement because my LE 2017 was all washed off. So now I got one to replace it. But thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This is amazing. And I wish Ms. Yamil was still here. Because some of the things that I've noticed over the last 2 years especially is the community outreach. Dr. Tipton, I think you're a huge part of this. Ms. Yamil, the the amount of community support that our district is getting now from like Lowe's and, Project Lead the Way, from an anonymous donation for our child nutrition department to cover lunches. I mean, this stuff is amazing. And you want to talk about crying? It just gets me because we didn't have this, and we didn't have, and the family concept that we've tried to put out in our community is coming back. And I keep seeing this stuff over and over and over, and it's amazing. And I think a lot of it has to do with Dr. Tipton. It has to do with, everybody, our administration, our principals, our, Dr. Strike, Daniel Gallagher. I always want to call you a doctor. You're just going to get it just by association. Just everything that you guys have done has been just tremendous. And I was looking at the report, and I got teary-eyed because I saw these anonymous donations that we got, and it breaks my heart, or not breaks, it just makes me so proud that we're in this district and that our community loves our district this much, that they're willing to put all this effort into our kids. So thank you guys, and I wish some people were still here, but anyway, thank you.
They can see it on YouTube later.
Yeah.
Mr. Blackwood?
Again, thank you for the gifts. They were very much unexpected. And it is very humbling to see the output and the support coming from the staff and administration. Just want to also thank Mr. Gallagher and Dr. Strike beforehand. I think a lot of the changes that Ms. Harding was talking about, I actually remembered a saying that my grandfather told me a really long time ago when he learned it in the military. And he said it was one of the very few things he actually learned that was worthwhile remembering from the military. But he learned through when he's going through OCS, he was not told one time, he was told one time to not lead and others will follow. That's not what he was told. He was told lead and bring others with you. And that's what I see this administration, that's what I see Mr. Gallagher doing, is you guys are all out front, but you're bringing the rest of us with you. And you're not expecting us just to pick up and follow you just because you're the Pied Piper. You guys and a lot of people in this district are actually finding a way to pick people up and bring and carry them along. And it's very, very much appreciated. I just want to say thank you.
Mr. Gallagher?
Yeah, I want to just echo some of the things that were said. But first, again, thank you to the board for what you guys do. And I can list so many things that have happened over the last 3.5 years. And it really is a result of the work of all of us collectively, but without this board and without the support that you provide, and letting us move things forward, really getting behind some of the things that we're doing, we wouldn't be able to do that. Authorizing the purchase of the new curriculum. Those are the types of things that will allow us to keep moving the district forward. So, we're blessed to have each one of you on this board. And I know you all are in it for the right reasons. You love this district, you love the kids, you love the community, and we're blessed for that. So thank you for that. I also want to say a special thank you to the principals. They were here again to support you and be here for board appreciation. So thank you to the principals who came out tonight. And then thank you, Sonia, for everything you do, but again, for translating for the parents that were here tonight. That was a really nice moment. And Yumila is just incredible. I think we all agree that we're blessed to have her. And staff, thank you again for staying late, but we can go on for another hour and a half at least.
We did it about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. We will adjourn at 8:35.